What a great week it has been. Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at trending markets here. Starting out with indices this week, we are looking at the S&P 500. I see people tweeting all the time how this needs to come down, and we have not corrected over 1% in so many days. Who cares? If you just trade the trend following approach, no matter how the market moves, you know exactly where you want to get out, you know exactly what you're going to make or lose, and you just let the position ride. And that's really what it's all about. And we can see in this weekly chart here that after the breakouts, which are marked by the black lines, we have a continuous upwards movement in the S&P. We are even gaining some momentum. It will now be very interesting to watch over the coming months if this momentum here will exceed the previous momentum high of the uptrend that we see in here. If that happens, we know that some sort of new wave in market structure is underway, and we will probably continue higher and higher and higher as the uptrend is unfolding. And as we know from the trend following approach, we really do need divergences, or we will see divergences, and especially in the US markets we did have quite a lot of divergences in the past couple of uptrends on the weekly chart that we saw. So as we see a momentum high being made and the price continuing up even more, then it is far from being over this uptrend, as the market still needs to correct, give us a divergence, correct, give us yet another divergence. So we might be just in the very early stages of an uptrend. However, we must remember the divergence that could be unfolding here on the monthly chart, which could end this scenario pretty soon too. So we are quite unsure right now. Is this really unfolding? Will we really be watching a price continuing to the upside, where we see weeks going higher and higher, really putting some momentum into the price movement? Or will this start to deteriorate over the coming months, and we will not see a bull market really unfolding over probably 3 or 4 years? We'll really have to wait and see for this. We have global indice markets really rising. It doesn't matter what we're looking at. The Nikkei was a focus in the past couple of weeks here in the weekly recap that I do. Again, this week it just fails at the balance zone here at the green line, which means we'll see this move higher most likely. I mean, nothing is for sure in trading, but with a scenario like this, where we have 4 weeks now that all bounced off the alligator, and the last week was closing almost as high as the previous week had opened, we'll probably see the next fractal taken, and we'll reach this 21,000 target. We are not putting in a take profit, as you know. We are letting it run, and 21,000 really is just the first target that there is. We'll really have to wait and see if this market has the potential to go higher than that. So let's really wait for this here. Next market is the FTSE. We have the same thing going on. We have the all-time high level right there. Price retraced back right into that level, retesting it, and the last week just shows us how much it wants to move higher. And we have yet again a higher close here above the all-time high, not as high as we have been in between. So the all-time high actually is right there. These were the old all-time highs that unfolded for a really long time. I think it was around 10-15 years. I don't quite remember right now, but this might actually be a successful breakout to the upside. Momentum gaining speed again in the next weeks would mean that even in the FTSE we are moving quite a lot higher, as the monthly chart does not have any resistance that we are about to hit, as these are new all-time highs. Please remember that new all-time highs means no resistance anywhere in sight. So as the more momentum this market has, the higher it's gonna move in this case here. This is the picture for the indices. Let's now move over to the forex markets, where first of all we'll take a look at the Euro Australian. We did see that breakout successful. Last week I was mentioning that we had all of these support levels here. Look at how many fractals there are. The market wants to turn at these places. It wants to turn around, move back into the alligator, and then it comes down more. We have a correction phase here, an internal correction, where again for many many weeks the market was not able to move lower. However, the last week closes so low, no bounce off of these levels here, that we could see a successful breakout. We do have a monthly support coming up at the fractal over here, which is also a fractal on the monthly, and we still need to take this one successfully to really judge if this market has the potential to go down all the way to the old lows. And these are 2,500 pips just about, and will that would be a great opportunity for us to trend follow on a move like that. We'll have to see if that really happens. We're definitely short from the area up here. It's really your choice which breakouts to take. That needs some work, and you really gotta understand your system, understand the approach that you're taking to trend follow. And we'll see how this pans out in the Euro Australian. Euro dollar not quite as bearish yet, but we did see a week that chose yet again the balance zone moving averages to bounce and to continue the overall trend direction. Remember, we have a downtrend going on. This is just a correction, and we have moved lower. We've made new lows already. Yes, we did bounce off of these lows, but we don't know if we might just see a continuation of the overall downtrend. Looking at the monthly chart, you can see that if this breaks out here again, we do see this retracement, but if we see the next 1 or 2 months weaker in the euro, we might as well unfold a movement that again touches these lows here, which would also yield um, just about 2,000 points in the euro dollar. So let's just stick to this market. Let's keep on looking at it. Let's not disregard it and not pay attention anymore, since yes, we do have to wait a long time, but it may as well be worth it at the end, since the market is unfolding, the trend is gonna go, and we just need the patience to follow it. Next market here, British pound Australian. We are still short. We did see a little bit more of bullish movements at the beginning of the past week in here, but we're closing at the or near the open, and we still do see the chance for this to go down. Not more to say about this one, since it's getting really boring. I'm mentioning it every week, and the scenario doesn't really change. It remains a short. Let's take a look at some markets that could be very interesting here in the next couple of months, or maybe until the end of the year, maybe longer. Looking at some monthly charts here, US dollar yen has come through the balance zone, is now retracing a little bit, setting up a fractal most likely here in this area now, and then could continue an uptrend. Let's wait and see. We do have an uptrend right there. We have the correction going down into the previous fractal area, just like what we want to see. And now it might continue higher. Let's see if that's the scenario. We're going to focus on this one, wait for our setup to go long as the market has come above the balance zone on the monthly chart. That's what we want to see. Crossing that balance zone from the downside to the upside, giving us the breakout fractal, then following the market to the upside. That's the point of the whole strategy. Taking a look at gold and silver again here, also looking at the monthly. Remember, we have this uptrend, we have a correction, now we have a breakout fractal on the monthly chart. And we have come down, yes, we have even gone below the balance zone, but we are turning around right here. This is new demand right in there, no continuation of the downtrend. This market has been so bullish in the last 5-6 weeks that we have reason to assume that this breakout fractal on the monthly, sooner or later this year most likely, might be taken, and then we have a trend establishing to new all-time highs. That's the scenario all along. It has never been negated. This market just corrected for a pretty long time in here. We kind of expected this to move out faster, but it didn't. Still, the scenario is not negated. It wouldn't have been negated until the price makes a new low. It doesn't really seem to do that as of now. Let's look for the weekly bifractal. You can also follow this on the daily chart, of course, but let's look for the weekly bifractal. Right now we are in a phase where the market is just so up from after hitting these lows here. We are expecting a correction, something like this down here before it moves out. This would be the breakout point, but that is only if we really see the balance zone acting as great resistance again and the market really retracing at this point. If it starts to be, or if it's continuing to be as crazy as it has been in the last couple of weeks, we might as well see it move higher and then ending up maybe in a more complex correction before we really take this one here, which is the monthly fractal, to really establish this uptrend that I was just talking about. Same scenario unfolds in silver. We are already above the balance zone. Let's see if a fractal is possible soon in the coming weeks so we can get into this move that seems to be pretty bullish. All the same scenario as in gold. We have this bull market, this uptrend here. This is merely the correction. If you zoom in, that really does make sense. Here we have fractals created exactly in the previous fractal area where the support sits, where we have new buyers coming in. We have this initial move to the upside, fractal created. Now we're going back into the balance zone. That's the place where price breathes as it is gaining some speed into the new direction, and that would be to the upside. So again, on the weekly, even on the daily, you will be able to follow this uptrend if you have enough patience, hopefully. So that's it for the week. Thanks again for watching. Post your comments, post your questions if you have any. Like the video, that really helps a lot. And I see you again next week. Bye.